How about you? I'm Hank. Does a good dealer really matter? I mean, I've said it. I've seen people say it in comments. I've seen people, I've read it in forums. Marry the dealer, not the tractor. Let's talk about that just for a minute. And let me play the devil's advocate for just a couple of thoughts that I've had. And I tell you, I agree with that. You should marry the dealer, not the tractor. But let's talk about things that you shouldn't dismiss. All right, let's get into it. Let's cover about 10 things, maybe 11 things that you can think about when you hear people say, oh, you got to marry the dealer, not the tractor. And it's a valid point, but let's talk about maybe 10 or 11 things where that might not be true. All right, let's say you've got a TYM dealer that's 5 minutes from you, and you've got a John Deere dealer that's 30 minutes from you. That TYM dealer might be like a auto parts store like we have here close to my house. He sells auto parts, and he also sells mowers, and he also sells TYM tractors. So does that make him a bad dealer because he's not a tractor dealership? I would say no. I think he's an excellent tractor dealer, and I think he's got a shop that is capable. He's got a mechanic that's capable of building or working on the tractor equipment. And so when people say, oh, it's just that shop is associated with a small engine repair, so what? I know a lot of mechanics that work on small engines that are heck of good diesel mechanics. So that doesn't. I don't think you should judge a book by its cover if you're thinking about, I'm not going to go to this dealer because it's kind of a small shop. I don't think he has the technicians or the mechanics to be able to service my tractor should the time come up where it needs to be serviced. So, I don't know. I think a better option would be, let me go talk to these guys. Let me figure out who they are. Let me see what kind of, if I know some neighbors that have done some work with them, let me talk to them about it and then make my decision before I go 30 minutes down the road and buy the John Deere or the Kubota or the LS or whatever. So, not judging a book by its cover because it's associated with a small shop, it's not a good thing. So be thinking about that when you're looking at tractors to buy. And when you're thinking about, the tractor you're going to buy, if you look at this John Deere dealer and he's 30 minutes away, but the TYM dealer's 5 minutes away, and you think, well, I'm going to go further away because it's a John Deere, and the TYM guy is, it's debatable if he's a good shop or not. How many hours a year are you going to use your tractor? So, and I know you guys have got questions or you got comments right off the bat. Watch the whole video because we're going to cover some of the comments. Don't, hold on, we're getting there. But, how many hours a year are you going to operate your tractor? Are you going to operate your tractor 50 hours a year? Maybe you don't need a big shop, because maybe your tractor's not going to go into the shop. I've got 253 hours on the TYM. I've had it a year and a half. I've got almost 50 hours on the small one, and I've had it a year and a half. Actually, I think I've got almost 60 hours. So sorry about that. I got 60 hours on the small tractor, and I've had it a year and a half. We just don't use the small tractor as much as we use the big tractor, or the jobs that we use the small tractor for doesn't take as much time. And so, I'm like, I'm only using this tractor 50 hours a year. It's not gonna break. Hopefully, right? It's a brand new tractor. It's not gonna break. And so how many hours a year are you gonna use your tractor? And if you have a bad dealer that's close to you, unless you just don't like the guy, unless you just don't like the dealer because he's, not a nice person or whatever, you don't want to give your money to that dealer, that's totally fine. But if he's close to you and you're only going to use your tractor 50 hours a year, why not go to him? If you're buying a nice tractor and you're getting a good price on it, why not use him? People say he's a bad dealer. People say Chevrolet sucks. People say Dodge sucks. It's personal preference, right? So your opinion of that dealer is based on things that you read, customer service, and which is a lot of it you have to put weight to that. That's a fact, Jack. But go in there and say, hey, I want this tractor. I'm going to use it 50 hours a year. Are you going to take care of me? And then go from there. So how many hours a year are you going to do? But that's not only the thing that you have to think about. Think about what kind of parts do you actually think you're going to need? hopefully you don't need any, right? So hopefully you only need filters and lubrication. And so you can, it don't matter, you know, if the dealer that that's 5 minutes from your house is not a good dealer, he's still going to carry the filters. You're going to do the service yourself, you know, and then hopefully you don't ever have problems with the tractor that you chose to buy. But if it does, you know, the warranty will cover it or whatever the case may be. So if you don't plan on abusing your tractor, if you don't plan on, you know, using it often, you know, it's going to get 50 hours a year on it or whatever. All you're going to do is change filters on it, put a new air cleaner in it. Hey, I don't care if the guy's a knucklehead or what. I just need a filter. I don't care that he's a knucklehead. So think about that. What kind of parts are you planning to buy for this tractor? And if he has those parts, hey, I'm buying them, you know? So that's something to think about as well. And again, I'm telling you, a lot of people are like, I'm not doing business with him because he's a bad person, or I'm not doing business with him because there's a bad reputation. I get that, and I agree with that. But make sure that's a true statement before you do that, right? Make sure that he is indeed a bad dealer before you do that, because one bad apple don't spoil the whole bunch, as they say. So if you had a customer that says, oh, I took my tractor to John's repair shop and, you know, tractor dealership, and he didn't cover my bent ram on my front end loader, you know, take it with a grain of salt. A lot of times the people that are making the most noise, there's three sides to every story, right? They're your side, his side, and the truth. So just take it with a grain of salt when people say it's a bad dealer. Let's talk about some more stuff right quick. So with that being said, a bad dealer can still give good service. All right, now I know that kind of sounds counterintuitive, but they can. A bad dealer can still sell you OEM filters. A bad dealer can still change, you know, a part off your tractor that may have been broke. So, you know, if you go in there and be like, hey, look, I got a new lift arm cylinder that I got to put on. Well, just because he's a bad dealer doesn't mean he's incompetent, right? So there's a difference between a bad dealer and incompetence. Now, if you have a bad dealer that is, you know, just he's got technicians that don't know what they're doing, he's got mechanics that don't know what they're doing, he's got salesmen that are going to lie to you. Okay, you got it. You got a point there. But just because you don't like his, you know, just because you don't like it, not his attitude per se, but just because you don't like him doesn't mean that he can't change a lift arm cylinder on a loader correctly. Probably good, you know. And then what kind of parts, you know, we touched on this about what kind of parts are you going to buy from this guy? You know, or do you expect to buy from him? You know you're going to buy filters and stuff, but do you plan on buying anything else from him? I just want the tractor. I don't have to have a relationship with the dealer. I want the TYM tractor or the John Deere tractor or the LS tractor or the Mahindra tractor. I want the tractor because I've done all my research and this is the tractor that suits my needs, fits my price, and does everything I need it to do. It's checked all my boxes. I don't care if the dealer's a nice guy or not. That's why, you know, in the military, I had some good commanders. I didn't like them, but they were good commanders. I don't have to like my commander. You know, I need him to lead. I don't need you to be a nice guy. I need you to be a dealer that's going to support me with parts and, you know, repair work if it needs to be done. You got to think about that as well. Let's talk about some more stuff right quick. A lot of times people get into bad dealers or bad reputations by social media content. So we touched on it just earlier. How much weight do you put into social media comments? How much weight do you put in Google reviews? You have to take that stuff with a grain of salt. People make negative comments in a fit of anger, right? And I'm not saying this is always the case because sometimes it's warranted, but let's say you went to the dealer and the dealer says, that's not covered under warranty, you're gonna have to pay $600 for a new lift cylinder and we'll put it on for you for free or whatever, or we're gonna charge you $150 to put it on. And you're like, that's ridiculous, they should have covered this under warranty, right? And then they come back to that and you leave a Google review. They didn't cover this tractor's garbage, this dealer stinks. They didn't cover my stuff under warranty. And then 2 days later, they call you and say, hey, we were able to talk to corporate. We're covering your stuff under warranty. So, you know, let's get it fixed for you. Let's get your tractor back on the road. Do you go back and do you amend that comment? Do you delete the comment? It's already, the damage is done, you know? And so how many times have you made or read a comment where somebody says, oh, this dealer's horrible. He didn't fix my tractor. How many follow-up comments have you seen where it says, hey, look, I just want to edit the comment I made the other day where he said he wasn't going to fix it, but he called me back and said he was going to fix it, so everything's squared away. People just don't do that, right? People don't take the time to go back and fix the initial fire that they started. They don't take the time to go put it out, you know? So think about that. How much weight do you put into social media comments? How much stock do you put into Google reviews? Because people make negative reviews and things like that in the heat of the moment, before everything pans out and before the final solution has been reached. So I don't know, another thought to consider. Let's talk about a couple more things as we move along about should you marry the dealer or the tractor. All right, let's talk about a couple more things. Another thing that you have to think about is, should I buy from a big box store? And I did a video recently of the Summit tractors, and they're, you know, all the comments were talking about, I would never, not all of them, a lot of the comments were talking about, I would never buy from a big box store or whatever. And I mentioned, and I made the comment in the video, I was like, listen, I think RK has solved that problem. The RK tractors, I know people that love RK tractors. You're gonna get the onesies and twosies, just like you do with every brand that, you know, oh, that RK's a piece of junk. But majority of them are happy with the tractor, and they're happy with the service that they've been provided. I assume and I hope that Summit tractors will be the same. Summit tractors is being sold by Home Depot and some other big box type stores. And so, but you're not going to get your tractor service there. And so that's a big hurdle for RK and Summit to jump, right? Because they have authorized service dealers around the country that can take your tractor. If something happens to it, they've got a 1-800 number, I guess, or go on the website, whatever it is that they do. But when you buy the tractor, all that is explained to you. So if you go up to the 18-year-old kid in Home Depot and say, hey, I want this tractor, they're going to be like, okay, here's paperwork. You sign it, you take it home with you. They should tell you, hey, if you need this thing serviced, if you need this thing fixed, call Joe's Repair Shop at this number right here. They're authorized tractor, Summit tractor, RK tractor repair shop. They'll take care of it for you. So, you know, should you buy at a big box store? You got to do your homework. You got to do your homework, and then you don't have a dealer to blame. You know, well, I don't want to buy from a big box store because I want personalized service. I get it. I get it. Valid point. But if you look at the RK tractors and the Summit tractors, I mean, look, the features they have, some of the standard features that are options on other models, man, I'm telling you, it might be a good option for you to buy from a big box store and then use an authorized service facility to service that tractor or make the repairs on that tractor when the time comes up. But you just have to do your homework on that kind of stuff to figure out if that's going to suit your needs or not. It may not. You got to think about, what is this dealer going to be good for me? If you go back into like the small engine shop, how many mechanics do they have on staff? How many full-time mechanics do they have on staff? Are they going to be able to service my tractor? Are they going to be able to repair my tractor? That doesn't, if the answer is yes, then you got to go into the personality part of it. Yes, they can do this. They can fix my tractor. Yes, they can get me the parts. Yes, they can do my warranty work. Yes, they can, I don't know, get me updates, whatever, on my tractor. Is he a good dude? Nah, he stinks. Or yes, he's a good dude. Or nah, he's okay. You get three options. He's a good dude, he's a bad dude, or nah, he's okay, right? And if you don't want to buy from a bad dude or nah, okay guy, then don't. Buy from a dealer that is a good dude. And is he going to be a good tractor dealer though? Good dudes does not equate to good tractor dealers. Bad tractor dealers do not equate to good dudes. Or did I say that right? To bad people. you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. Let's touch on a few more things. How many parts and supplies does this dealer carry? If he doesn't carry the supplies and parts on the shelf, does that make him a bad dealer? You know, if he is that small engine repair shop or whatever, if he's the garden center, you go in there and he's got zero-turn mowers and all this stuff, does that mean he's gonna have your tractor parts? Do you have to buy from a tractor dealer? I would think the prices are a little more if you go from a tractor dealer, or maybe they work with you more. I'm not sure. But that, and then do they offer pickup service? You know, that's something you can think about when you're looking at a dealer. It's like, hey, this is something that I'm going to need. I'm going to take this. small tractor from Home Depot or from Rural King. I want to take it back to my property, but when I need it serviced, I don't have a way. I don't have a way to take it to get serviced. So you're thinking about that kind of stuff. Does that make a good dealer because he offers a service, pickup service? You know, do you write that into the contract when you buy it? Like, hey, in the first year I get pick up and delivery for a 50-hour service or whatever. So, you know, I guess the whole gist of the video is, because I was thinking about, we were talking about this with some friends, and I was thinking about, the guy was like, you know, hey, I don't want to get this tractor because the dealer's not very reputable. Well, I think there's a difference between not reputable and bad and good. So I think that you really have to weigh your options and say, look, is it really worth it for me? I'm not gonna buy anything but filters from this guy. I hope I never have to take it to the shop. I'm only putting 50 hours a year on it. Do I drive an hour to pick up another tractor, or do I drive 5 minutes and pick up this one that's close to home? Man, that's a tough question, ain't it? You know, we got a lot of videos on the channel about discussions. I like discussions, and I like how the comment section is wonderful inside the comments here to the video. So leave comments about what you think. But you know, we got other videos. I encourage you to watch those other videos. That does send YouTube a big signal about, hey, you like this channel and things like that. And the channel's doing great, so we appreciate all the support. But you know, I like discussion. I like talking about tractors. I like operating tractors. I like working with tractors, and I like having discussions that make us all better or all smarter, and get different opinions about different things in the tractor industry. So you tell me, would you buy from a bad dealer? Because what you may think is a bad dealer, I may not think is a bad dealer. So that's, you know, that's some good stuff. And like I said, we was having this conversation the other day, and you know, sometimes it's like, yeah, maybe he's not a bad dealer. If you really start to get down to the nuts and bolts of it, maybe he's not. You know, maybe he's just a okay dealer. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it in the comment section. Watch this video right here. It's awesome. We appreciate you guys. Take care. God bless.